Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. Sorry if you can't hear me that clearly. I'm kind of sick. The last week has been a dramatic changes in temperatures up and down, and it's kind of gotten to me in the nose area. I feel all right. I'm just clogged up, basically. Anyway, let's get right into this video. Before I get into the video, though, make sure you check out ropeadoperadio.com. You can check your fantasy stats there in the standings. You can read the articles. We got a bunch of articles, press releases, and also listen to the show. We had Nate Jones, who was a 96 bronze medalist at the heavyweight division for the U.S. He's actually a co-trainer to Floyd Mayweather. He's been in Team Mayweather for quite a while. They met back in the amateurs. They've been really good friends, and he also trains amateur fighters as well. So it was a really interesting interview last night. Check that out at ropeadoperadio.com. Any archive shows, check it out at Blog Talk Radio /Rope-A-Dope Radio. Anyway, let's get into this video. This is a video for a rematch. It's a prediction video for a rematch between Ivan Calderon and Giovanni Segura. Now, Segura came out and I believe stopped him in the 8th round, hurt him to the body numerous times, and in the end, that's what did it. Calderon took a knee and never got back up. He was that hurt. So he took his O, and it was also another installment into the ongoing rivalry for the Puerto Rican and the Mexicans. Great fights, great rivalry. It's the best rivalry, you could say, in sports almost, to be honest with you. But in boxing for sure, and it has been for quite a while now. Let's get into this. You know, before I went on air last night, a couple hours before, I rewatched Segura and Calderon, and I kind of forgot. I only watched it that one time and live, and I kind of forgot how good of a fight it was. A lot of back and forth, and Calderon, you know, for the first 3 rounds, he was fighting his fight. He was on the move. He was countering. He was hitting Segura with some really flush shots. So he was looking pretty good, although Segura was getting to the body, and you could see he was getting to him slowly but surely. I thought in the first 3 rounds, I'd probably give Calderon 2 out of the first 3. I believe it was in the 4th round when Segura got him on the ropes and really started punishing him to the body, in the head. It got to the point in the fight where Calderon was on the move here and there in the 5th and the 6th and the 7th, but he really started standing right in front of him and also getting caught on the ropes a lot. Now, Calderon's talked a lot about how he's going to change his style, and after the fight he said, you know, I didn't fight my fight. And I agree with him to an extent, though. I do agree. He was standing there more than he normally does. But in the same breath, sometimes on the ropes, he was just stuck there. It almost looked like he was hurt to where, you know, because on the ropes several times he actually did block plenty of shots and counter on Segura. So some of that was working, actually, or just sitting right on the outside and the edges of the pocket and landed big counter shots. So I do think he could have moved more, and especially when you're on the ropes, get out of there, hold. I think he's going to need to hold more, that's for sure. And move more, you know, obviously. But the thing about Segura is he's bigger than him. He's not slow. Come forward fighters tend to be kind of slow. He's not slow. He's got pretty good hand speed. And he's very, very disciplined to the body. He'll work the body. And it got to the point where Calderon was holding his, you know, his guard so low, trying to cover that body up, that those uppercuts started coming through, and those straight right hands really started coming through. And a lot of shots at that point on Calderon from Segura. So, you know, Segura going in the fight, I did believe Calderon could probably outbox him on the move because he gets so wide with the shots and he'll stretch. But, you know, sometimes that works against a guy that's going to move because you get him near the corner and he's on the move and your wide shot caught up to him on the way out. I noticed that especially to the body. I noticed that several times he'd be on the run, you know, on the run a little bit, and Segura would just kind of pop in a body shot as he was taking off. So, honestly, although I think Calderon will fight better, it'll be more like the first 3 rounds, and some of the in between, the 4th and 8th, where he had some success. But you know, he's got to come. I don't think Segura's going to just come blindly either. I mean, he gets hit plenty, but he can take a shot, and I just think the size and the fact that he's not a headhunter, he goes to the body. I think it's one of those things that I'm not saying Calderon can't win a boring, slower fight where he's consistently on the move like he has been in a lot of his fights. But it seemed like even when he was doing that, he was still getting hit to the body. And so that's not a good sign. And I just think the size is going to play another big factor. And I think at this age, Calderon, to go 12 rounds on moving is very tough. A lot of people don't realize how tough it is. It's not easy to move like that for 12 rounds or even half the fight. I just don't know if, you know, I've noticed he's been in some rough fights. He's had a lot of headbutts lately. Not just him doing it, but the other fighters as well. But just in general, he's just been in some rough. He's got a lot of cuts. It seems like he's wearing down a little bit too. You know, the speed's going to go, obviously. And the movement, it's just hard to move that long. So I think overall youth and just the discipline to keep going to that body, and even with wide shots, just keep bringing that pressure. I believe it'll be a fun fight to watch. I think Calderon needs to slow it way down to win, and I just don't see it. I think Segura will be able to walk through whatever Calderon has to offer, and I see Segura winning again, and I wouldn't doubt if it's a TKO, KO type fight again. You know, I don't know. I think it'll last longer, though. I don't think it'll be in the 8th round. If he does get him to the body, I think it'll be a couple more rounds later where it actually wears because, like I said, I see Calderon on the move. But I just don't think it'll be enough. I believe this fight's in Mexico, so there's another thing. When a come-forward fighter is fighting in his hometown, in his home country, you know, there's going to be an issue there, too. You know, how are you going to get judges if you're on the move the whole time on your bicycle? You know, it's hard to get that anywhere, really, in the world, because a lot of judges, you know, will go to the aggressor even if the aggressor is not overly effective, even if he's just somewhat effective. And that's what I think it's going to be a case of. I think Segura is going to miss plenty. I think he's going to get hit plenty, just like he did in the first fight. But I think he's going to be able to walk through those. I think he's going to tighten up his punches just barely. From the first fight. He's always going to throw winging shots. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, in this case, a lot of those winging shots landed on the body. So I have Segura, and I think more than likely, I think it may go the distance. But if not, it'll be more, you know, it'll be similar knockout, I believe, to where he just hurts him so much to the body again that Calderon, you know, can't go on. But, you know, I would love to see Calderon. I've been a fan with, you know, both these fighters. I've been a fan of Calderon even longer. I'd love to see him win and face, you know, in a third fight, force a trilogy. But I think age and him just slowing down in general, and he's more susceptible to cuts now, it seems like, even though it's been headbutts. But when you fight a come-forward fighter that's going to get rough and wants to get rough, there might be some headbutts in there too. So I'm going to go with Giovanni Segura in a decision win or a late KO TKO. This has been the Rope and Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. Peace.